Horses of the Conquistadores by José Santos Chocano. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgate Novelist. The horses were strong, the horses were eager, their necks finely arched, and shining their flanks, and musical their hoof-beats. The horses were strong, the horses were ready. No, not the warriors only, with plumes and cuirasses and firebrands and banners, conquered the primitive forests and the Andes. The horses of Andalusia, whose sinews had sparks of the flying race of the Arabs, stamped their glorious hoof-prints upon the dry lava fields, upon the wet marshlands, upon shores of loud rivers and upon silent snows, upon the pampas, the mountains, the woods and the valleys. The horses were strong, the horses were eager. A horse was the first among the parched thickets when Balboa's followers awoke sleeping solitudes, who gave on a sudden the warning of the Pacific Ocean ahead, because the breeze wafted to his nostrils a salt whiff of the sea. And the horse of Quesada, that on the summit paused, seeing in depths of the valley the brandishing whip of the torrent like an angry savage's gesture, saluted first with his whinny the interminable savannas, then descended with easy trot the stony stairs of the Andes, as if by 1,000 steps creaking under the musical beat of the hoofs. The horses were strong, the horses were eager. And he of the mighty girth, rearing as if to add to his stature, upon whom Hernando Cortez, the knight of the glittering stirrups, measured leagues and weeks among rocks and woods. Worthier he of laurels than colts galloping in the triumphal songs with which Pindar celebrated the Olympics among flying chariots and rushing winds. Worthier still of immortal odes, the horse upon which De Soto, dexterously controlling its capers, frightened, astounded, overcame the chorus of Indians, among whom, none daring a gesture, he pressed to the very throne of Atahualpa and spattered with froth the royal insignia. The horses were strong, the horses were ready. The horse of the Bedouin, swallowing the deserts, the miraculous horse of St. George, which crushed with its hoofs hellish dragons, that of Caesar in Gaul, of Hannibal in the Alps, the centaur of classic legend, half steed, half man, who gallops without tiring, dreams without sleeping, darts at the stars and outstrips the breeze. All these have less spirit, less vigor, less nobility than the epic horses of Andalusia in the lands of the wild Atlantides, enduring fatigue, spurring and hunger under the weight of the iron armor, between the fringe of the great banners, like a procession of heroism, crowned with Babieca's glory and Rocinante's pain. In the midst of decisive clamours of combat, under their breasts the horses bore down the Indians and pressed forward, often to the shout of "Santiago!" amid the smoke and glitter of metals, was seen to pass like a vision the horse of the apostle galloping through the air. The horses were strong, the horses were eager. An epic should be made of hero horses, who, as wingless hippogriffs, or as a river flung out from the Andes, all of them come, weary, bedraggled, from lands never seen, and from other, accessible lands, and suddenly startled by a horn puffed out with hurricanes, give nervously such a deep neighing that it promises to endure forever, and then on the boundless pampas view the solemn distances, feel the lure of far-off horizons, climb again the ages, crowd together, pawing and sniffing, and are off headlong. Behind them a cloud, the cloud of glory rising in the air. The horses were strong, the horses were eager. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. And end of Selected Poems by José Santos Chocano. Thank you for listening.